Yo, good evening, everybody. 8:30 Wednesday night. What day is it? The 18th. It is the 18th. Wednesday night, the 18th. We're getting ready for Week 11 NFL. I'm Johnny Danger. With me here is Chris Emmerich. Just the two of us tonight. Chris, you're drinking for three. What do you got?
I have got something right here. It's called Business Showers. It is a pale ale, 5.2%. I figured we're doing business. We got some business showers going on.
I like it. I like it. I am currently drinking this lovely non-alcoholic IPA from Well-Being Brewing Company in Maryland Heights, Missouri, apparently. And if I didn't know it was NA, I wouldn't believe it. But it is, and it's delicious. So highly recommended if you want to go that route. We'll see how it goes tonight. I found this can in my cellar.
Okay.
I have no idea what it is.
Nice.
So we'll open it up a little bit later and find out what the hell that is. So that's awesome. Hey, buddy, did you do okay this last weekend?
It was all right. It was not the best with the running backs. So I've got a new approach this week, but running backs have just murdered me lately. So, I had a lot of Miles Sanders, and when Boston Scott scored, that was, that kind of hurt. But then when Corey Clement scored, I was like, what the? So, yeah, that's when I knew it was over for me. I knew that it was just it was a doomed weekend.
Yeah, man. I did just fine. I think I entered $23 and won back $22.
Well, I mean, I was profitable on the weekend because of League of Legends. So that's
nice.
why I'm grinding these articles out for tomorrow.
When's the next League of Legends? This morning?
Friday morning. It'll be Friday morning at 1 a.m. So it's a 3-game slate, so it's kind of exciting. So just getting together some charts and things like that for visuals. And then additionally, one of the things I've looked at in this is I've just been looking at first turret, first blood. Those are things that you can actually bet on. And FPX is, not had first blood every time, but they've gotten the first turret every single time. So I'm going to go check out Bovada, see what that is, and, make a bet there.
Nice. Love it. If you're watching live, guys, drop your questions in any of the comment boxes. We are happy to answer them. And if you want to come and verbally fight us, send me a DM. I'll invite you on the show. Totally fine. First things first, my man, we have a really freaking, hopefully exciting Thursday night football game coming up tomorrow night. We've got Seattle and Arizona. Man, I hope some fireworks happen. I've been waiting for one of these super exciting standalone games, and I think this is the one.
Yeah, I mean, it should be an interesting build too, and on how you're going to approach that. I don't know if there's necessarily a correct way of doing it, just because there's so many different things. I mean, kudos to you being right and absolutely rubbing it in my face, and me being in a bad mood and being pissy about it, and then challenging you, and then you getting mad, and then we talk about how to make baked potatoes.
That's right.
So yeah.
But did you slice them or did you bake them? That's the real question.
I baked them.
Oh, man.
Smash burgers.
It's no good. It's no good. Anyways, hey, we already have a question. This was actually a question a friend of mine posted to me a little while ago. I said, check in live, and I'll let Chris answer since I answered him privately. But Lamar Jackson or Justin Herbert this weekend?
I'm gonna go with Justin, even though his haircut really kind of makes me adjust the rankings. Let me look at this.
If you want my answer, what I gave him was it was very, very close for me, but I am on the Herbert train, man. He's just getting it done.
Yeah, I think teams have kind of figured out Lamar Jackson and a way to play them to kind of limit some of his effectiveness, and I don't think that I don't even know the word that I know the word I'm looking for, but they're just not in sync. The passing game, his wide receivers, it's just not there right now. It's not working. Whereas Herbert, it absolutely is. And he's playing the Jets. I guess your worry is that they run up the score 20, 30 points, but they don't really have a running game right now. Austin Eckler is going to return in week 12, most likely. So this is going to be Keelan Balaj and Josh Kelly. Josh Kelly. Or Joshua Kelly. I don't know his name He's irrelevant. It's a Justin Herbert. It's a Justin Herbert week. I mean, it could burn you, but I think he's just got a little bit better floor, and that's weird to say.
Well, I mean, he's been better all year, so I mean,
except for
he's right. Yeah, except for week 1, correct. Yeah, but he's got better stats on the year. He's better in my projections, so yeah, I'm going with Herbert. All right, Dustin, man, thanks for the question, brother.
I mean, I'll be honest. My raw projections have actually have Lamar a little bit higher. It's just my gut feeling. I like Herbert a little bit more.
I think when I looked at it earlier, I think I had Herbert at like 0.75 more points. So
I've got Lamar at 23, Herbert at 21.
Yeah, there you go. There you go, my man. All right, I like it. All right, well, let's dig a little further into Thursday night. This is an interesting game. We have to keep an eye on Lockett's health. We have to keep an eye on Carson's health. Those are going to be big question marks to answer. If Lockett was that?
Carson's not playing.
Carson's officially out? I didn't see that.
Yeah, pretty sure Carson's out. Hyde's questionable. So
Hyde's in.
Oh, he's going to play? Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
I saw Hyde in and Carson's still questionable. But anyways, I also see Lockett questionable. So we got to keep an eye on these things. And then if Lockett's not in, you would think you go automatically to DK Metcalf, but also he's going to have Patrick Peterson on him. And with no Lockett on the other side, does it actually downgrade DK a little bit for you without Lockett, or is that just rubbish and you play DK anyways?
I play DK anyways. I mean, this Arizona team is giving up tons and tons and tons of points to wide receivers, so not worried about it.
The last 4 weeks, they actually are the worst against the wide receiver in DVOA. I did see that.
Yeah, well, number 7 in the year in points allowed. I mean, this is it's not a situation that you have to kind of shy away from.
I actually kind of excited to build some showdown lineups for this because both of these teams are pretty concentrated in most of their targets. It seems like to me. I mean, with Arizona, you really only have, you've got Kirk and you've got Hopkins, you've got Isabella, and you've got Larry Fitz, and they really don't run anybody else out there besides Dan Arnold, the tight end. And the same thing kind of over in Seattle. You've got Lockett, you've got Metcalf, you've got Moore and Swain, and then they've got 3 tight ends that see a little bit of snaps. But there isn't like this, like Philadelphia or San Francisco, where you've got like 7, 8 guys catching the ball. So I think this is going to be kind of a fun build for me.
Yeah, and I mean, as equally bad as Arizona has been, Seattle's been right there with them, worse overall for the year, but just slightly less worse over the last 4 weeks. So there's certainly going to be a lot of points from wide receivers. It might just be like put 6 wide receivers with 2 quarterbacks and just get that any way possible.
Yeah, I can agree with that for sure. And it looks like Drake is back as well. And so that hurts Edmonds a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, he was back last week, got 100 yards. So, Yeah.
So there it is, man. Any thoughts on this game?
I mean, if you're excited, maybe you write the article this week. I don't know. I've got this whole League of Legends thing going on, and it's going to be pretty extensive. I'm going to have kills per loss, per death, per wins, KDAs, a whole bunch of different charts. So I'm putting together something pretty elaborate.
All right, man. Then look forward to a Johnny Danger Thursday night showdown.
Excellent.
Be excited. I'll write the article. It'll be fun. You can catch our stuff, friends, at fantasyfootballblueprint.com. There's a lot of free content on there. There's some good subscription-only content on there, and you can check out what we do over there. We have won $250,000 this year as a group. It's true. Okay, Chris won 205 of that, but still, that's not the point. We as a group have won $250,000. That's important.
Well, I will tell you, I am searching for my 30th League of Legends GPP win coming up here, and I think almost close to 40 over for everything this year. So
I dig it. I like how we had like 7, 8 live people, and then we started talking League of Legends, and it's down to 2. I think that's funny. I think that was funny to me. Anyways, any more thoughts about this game for Thursday night? I mean, it's kind of almost a lock to go over, wouldn't you think? Make a prediction though. Who's winning this game?
I'm going with Arizona.
Yeah, I think Kyler Murray's, man. He's unstoppable. I love it. They're at home. I dig it. I'm with you. Arizona.
They're not at home. They're in Seattle, but I think the whole thing with playing in Seattle is
they are in Seattle. My bad.
Yeah, I mean, Seattle's advantage is always the crowd noise. makes it harder for the offense to operate. When you eliminate that aspect of it, it eliminates that advantage. And there's been some talk about why the offense has been 3 points higher, I think, this year over last year, and an all-time high. And it's because, teams on the road don't have to do silent counts because it's not loud. So, I think that's a huge, huge advantage for Arizona here.
Yeah, and getting +3 at the moment. There you go. All right, let's break into a local game here for me. Detroit Lions, Carolina Panthers. This isn't in my sports book for some reason. You got a line on this?
Yeah, so I have the over-under at 49 with the Panthers -1.
Okay, great. Yeah, it wasn't there, and it wasn't on Sportsline either, so it was weird. Couldn't find it. Awesome. So Detroit Lions heading over to Carolina. I'm hoping that Mike Davis has a killer game this week because I still need him in my seasonal league to kick some ass. Swift is getting quite priced up there, man. I mean, can you go Swift at, was it 6,400 for Swift against Carolina? I mean, they're garbage run defense, but that's just, I feel awful paying that much for a Detroit running back.
Yeah, I mean, I think the flip side to that is he saw a 50% increase in his snap share, and not even just, if you look at his percentage, not just his snaps played, it's even more so. I mean, typically the guy was playing somewhere between 30 to 35 snaps out of 60 or 70, 43 out of 59. So that's why it's there. He's really kind of taking over as that number one back. But yeah, I think that there is some question marks there, and that he is a little pricey because we've seen it plenty of times. You think you have something figured out, and then all of a sudden, rational coaching goes out the window, and all of a sudden he's back to playing 30 snaps out of 80. On the other side of it, it's an attractive matchup for Mike Davis, but I think we've seen the real Mike Davis over the last couple of games. He had those, couple that were just absolutely bonkers, and you're like, man, this guy is a perfect replacement for Christian McCaffrey right now. Running backs don't matter, and then all of a sudden they do. And he has been absolutely awful. I am really excited to get a little bit of PJ Walker action. If anybody watched the XFL, PJ Walker was, the one quarterback that looked like he had it together, could really throw a deep ball. So I think that really kind of plays into Robbie Anderson's hands here. So I don't know. I mean, maybe he was just playing inferior competition, which he was, and he's not going to do well here. But let's be honest, the Lions are kind of like an XFL team, So.
So we have another question from my boy Dusty. Wants to know how DJ Moore is going to do. It looks like for the last 4 games, Detroit's really kind of been pretty good against the wide receivers and really kind of sucking against the run. So what are you thinking here?
I like DJ Moore. I like DJ Moore at his price. I mean, I like all parts of this offense. Again, watching PJ Walker and what he's capable of, I don't have a problem going to him, and I think you're probably playing DJ Moore in a seasonal league. So, I tend to lean towards Robbie Anderson for 400 more. I think it looks like his ownership is slated to be a little bit higher. So we just don't know. We don't know who PJ Walker has that in sync in that relationship with.
Is this a seasonal question, Dusty? Do you have other wide receivers to consider? That's a good question to follow up with. Speaking of the Detroit side, are you still on? I don't know. I mean, Carolina just sucks so much against the run, but they also tend to be really bad against the tight end. So another TJ Hawkinson game.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, he's priced way down at this point. He's way more attractive, 4,200. That's a spot that you can really, I mean, all the tight ends are a lot cheaper. So I guess maybe without any Travis Kelce, they're like, you know what, the tight ends have been just a absolute disaster. We're not going to charge you that much for him because even though he's priced at 4,200, he's still the 7th highest priced tight end. Somehow Mike Gesicki is still priced higher than him, but Noah Fant, Hayden Hurst, Hunter Henry, Jonnu Smith, and Mark Andrews are all a little more expensive. But yeah, I mean, he's priced right around there with Jared Cook, Eric Ebron, Mike Gesicki. I mean, absolutely. I like him.
Yeah, they are a bottom 15% against the pass in the last 4 weeks. They're the worst against tight ends for giving up fantasy points. So TJ might be a nice play there.
Yeah, again, it's super cheap, makes a lot of other things work. So
Dusty says his other option is Kirk or more. I'm on the side of Kirk personally. I think
I think you play
killer game.
Anybody against Seattle, absolutely.
All right, lock it up. Love it. All right, any more pieces of this Carolina game besides the obvious? Anything else you want to talk about there?
Nope, we're just kind of waiting here on the Detroit Pistons pick.
I see. I thought you were distracted by something.
Yeah, it's in. They're talking to the Hawks pick. Whatever. Okay, what's the next game that we're going at here?
Well, let's talk about Philadelphia Eagles heading to Cleveland. 47.5 over under and 3.5 points. Favorites are the Browns. I'm actually kind of liking the Browns defense this week. I don't know why. It's just gut feeling again. I like it. I feel like with Chubb back that they're going back to clock management and just kind of going back and forth between him and Hunt. And I feel like it's going to be a slower paced game than they've been playing over the last few weeks. And I like their defense.
Yeah, and then I mean, like, who do you really? It's not even just a matter of liking the defense. It's on both sides of this. Is who do you really like from the offensive side on either of these teams? Are you going to go to Travis Fulgham at 5,600? Probably not. Are you going to go to Jalen Reagor at 4,300? That maybe. I mean, he had 7 targets, and on the other side of things, how many times can we go and dial up Jarvis Landry and just get disappointed? 5 targets last week. His price is now down to 5,500. That's super attractive, but we just haven't been seeing anything except for out of the running backs on both sides of this. Nick Chubb, Miles Sanders. I think Kareem Hunt's a little bit too expensive. That's just my initial thought. I plan on digging a little deeper into the running backs than I normally do, as I've felt like that's been my downfall the last couple of weeks.
For sure. Thoughts on Hooper in this game?
Yeah, I mean, another tight end that's at 3,900. Goddard's interesting too. Both of those guys, but Hooper wasn't really involved against Houston, so it would be interesting to see if he would get involved, back to the way he was before the injury. He was out there for the majority of the snaps, so maybe he just didn't have a tremendous amount of targets. Maybe he wasn't. I mean, obviously he didn't. Maybe he just wasn't open. Not really sure. He was, running. He ran 18 routes, so that's pretty much what the tight ends were kind of running before. They were running, really they weren't actually. I mean, they were running 26 to 30. He ran 18. He was the only one running route. So, that's something that I would look at. But the Eagles have had problems against tight ends. So, that was their early time. So let's actually go take a look and see what changed from the early part of the season to the last 4 against Philadelphia and who they played, and did they figure something out, or, what's going on? Well, let's see. 2000.
It says for the
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. So you give up 3 touchdowns to Tyler Higbee and a monster game to George Kittle, and then you play Nick Boyle, Mark and shut some guys down. So yeah, it's a good spot, but
yeah, it says overall on the year they're the 3rd worst against tight ends, but they're actually better than average over the last 4 games.
Well, yeah, I mean, in week 2, they gave up that 3 touchdown game to Tyler Higbee. And then in week 4, they had that monster game, 183 yards, 15 catches, and a touchdown that were surrendered to George Kittle. Those 2 things are going to sway the context of everything else. The last couple of weeks, 6 for 46, 6 for 53, 2 for 15. So, yeah, I mean, I don't think it's a spot that you need to necessarily attack. I like Hawkinson for a little bit more in his spot.
I'm going to stick with the fact that I have so far picked them as my favorite defense of the week for the price.
Okay. But
it's only Wednesday. I got lots of time to dig into that.
And I mean, to be fair, you may have picked the Rams, but I picked the Saints, and the Saints were, they scored like the next 1 more point.
That's true. No, it's true. Definitely true. More, so. All right, moving on to another game I like quite a bit. The New England Patriots heading to Houston. 48.5 is the over-under. Patriots favored by 2. I kind of like the Patriots in this game. Kind of like Cam, kind of like Harris, kind of like Myers.
I think what's interesting is the problems that Houston has had stopping the run and how involved they're going to get Cam Newton in the run. Like we talked about it from a seasonal perspective. You offered a couple options. I liked Damian Harris as one of your top two options to place in that lineup, just because I think that this is a spot where he gets 15, 20 carries, has a shot at 100 yards. But how involved is Cam going to get? I mean, if they can't stop the run, I don't think it changes whether it's Cam or Harris. They're essentially the same guy. One just can throw the ball, the other one can't. I mean, I don't know. I assume he can't. From Cam's perspective, though, he's just still. There are a couple guys that are around him price-wise that I think are just a little more attractive. I mean, maybe that's the whole point. But what's his real ceiling? Even 2 touchdowns with a good amount of rushing yards. I don't know how he really achieves the ceiling when you have a guy like Matt Ryan at 6,300 or Deshaun Watson on the other side of this at 6,500, who I think can easily outscore him even in a loss. So, and then especially with a guy like Ben Roethlisberger, only 400 or 500 more. I'm not interested in Cam. I'm more interested in the Harris side of things.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I'm a big fan of Big Ben. We'll get to that though. But Houston's DVOA, man, right now, dead last against the rush, dead last against adjusted line yards. If Harris picked up a questionable today, but that could have just been a day of rest kind of thing. So play that out. And, of course, Belichick is notoriously goofy with his questionable tags. So I'm not too worried about it as long as he's practicing. But, yeah, Harris, man, could be my number one target this week in DFS for a running back.
Yeah, I mean, I like the other side of things. I like Brandon Cooks, a little revenge game. The last 5 games, 12, 9, 9, 9, 8 targets. Last week didn't really explode for a lot of yards. There was, some high wins, but, 6 receptions for 39 yards.
Fire up Dookie again?
What's that?
Fire up Dookie again?
I don't think so. I think I'm
last 4 games, they are 3rd worst against the run, and they are 31st only behind the Texans in DVOA against the run.
Yeah, I think I'm done with Houston running backs. I think I'm good.
Duke Johnson's basically, we're laughing because he's basically a topic in our group chat every single week. So,
we talked about it on the live.
Or him or David Johnson. Yeah, it's always a Houston running back, basically every week.
Yeah, so I'm good. I'm good on it. I mean, they haven't really allowed huge gains. They haven't really played a lot of teams that give it up. So, but I'm just not interested. They've only given up 7 touchdowns. 2 of those were to Zach Moss. 4 were in that one game against San Francisco. I mean, I'm just probably not Duke Johnson for me.
Yeah, stick with Harris on that. All right, let's move along. Let's talk about Big Ben, man. Pittsburgh heading to Jacksonville. They are 10-point favorites, 46.5. Jacksonville's been kind of terrible lately, and Ben's been looking sharp. So I think it's another Ben and Deontay Johnson game for me to start. You could throw a little Juju in there, throw a little Connors in there maybe, but I'm going to probably start my first cash build with Ben and Johnson.
Yeah, no, I agree. Deontay Johnson's been absolutely fantastic when he has made it through the entire game. In fact, all of the wide receivers last week were fantastic. You couldn't have gone wrong with it. Really disappointing game from James Conner. Another one of those kind of sticking points for me. I like his price again. Kind of hard not to go to him in this situation once again. A little easier to get away from James Robinson at his price, but I think you just pick whichever of those wide receivers. You could pick them all. You could pick one, but definitely Deontay Johnson. He's going to be popular, though. I mean, 5,900. The guy just eats up a lot of targets, double digits, anytime that he stays on the field. At that price, you just can't really pass it up.
I'm with you 100%. What about running somebody back on the other side? Do you have any feelings? I mean, we kind of liked Keenan Cole, and it paid off for people if they listen to us Sunday mornings at 11 o'clock in the morning, first sip. Great nuggets of joy come out of that show every week. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I mean, the other guy that I'm interested in, he got 8 targets again last week. He's still 3,000, is Chris Conley. You want to run it back. You want to find some place where even though they have a good defense, you don't need a lot from him. If you're going to get a guy at 3,000, he's going to get 8 targets. Yeah, absolutely. 8 targets back-to-back games Chris Conley is kind of my guy.
I mean, 9-10 points pays it off. So, especially if he sneaks a touchdown in, you're golden.
Yeah, I mean, look, last week he was 8.3. Doesn't kill you. Doesn't, you find it somewhere else. That's why you're looking for the upside. But that 3,000, if it allows you to pay up for a stud running back or a stud wide receiver that goes off for 40 points, and you can afford him with another cheap guy, that's all you really need there. So, absolutely.
I'm looking for that like bargain running back. I've got a few of the wide receivers like Conley, but if I can sneak Ben and Johnson and then Kamara into that backfield, you're going to have to get creative because Kamara is going to be super expensive. Was he 9,000? Where is he at right now?
92.
Yeah, 92. But the matchup's gold. He's been absolutely tearing it up. It's a tough price to pay off. He's going to do it, though.
So I guess, is that where we're going next?
Oh, let's see. Yeah, why not? Let's go to Atlanta Falcons, going to New Orleans. We got a changing quarterback. Saints are favored by 5, over under 50.5. Fantasy-wise, I'm not really worried about the quarterback change. I think Winston's totally fine. He's going to air it out more than Breeze was. He's not going to lose as many snaps to Taysom Hill, if you ask me, because Winston can also run the ball, so they don't have to do the trick plays. And also Taysom is now the main backup. It's a lot easier to run Taysom out there for routes and blocking and runs when they know they've got Winston, but without Breeze, do they put Taysom out as much as they were? So it doesn't bother me. I don't mind Winston.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how I feel about this game. So the reason that Denver ended up having a good fantasy game, Drew Lock and Jerry Jeudy, was they just fell behind and they started throwing the ball a lot. Do I think that Atlanta gets ahead in this game and forces New Orleans into a situation where Jameis is having to throw the ball a ton? I mean, I think the only way that you see that is the same way that Tampa Bay had to last year, in the sense that Jameis turns the ball over, throws a pick 6 or 2. I mean, I think it makes a really interesting defense to play that Atlanta defense, which I suspect is not going to be super owned and is super cheap at 2,300. Or has Jameis, turned over a new leaf? Is he somebody that can throw a little more accurate balls, a little bit more restrained? He got that LASIK eye surgery, and he's got some better weapons. Wasn't really great in relief last week. However, he probably wasn't practicing with the first string guys. I think a guy like Kamara, for me, I'm really not interested in it. I don't know. It's a tough situation because I think that New Orleans defense is getting better. I think Atlanta is to some extent too, but the New Orleans defense can be good. Calvin Ridley's playing. You've got Calvin, Julio, Gage, OZ, and everything that they can throw at you. It's just an interesting game from a lot of different angles. This is one of those games that could just really pop off, but I wouldn't fault somebody for fading it completely.
I can see Kamara having 15 to 18 carries and 12 targets though, so it's like, but he's got to get there, right? I mean, at 9,200, that's what he's got to have. He's got to have 70 yards rushing and 8 catches and 2 touchdowns to even get there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, do you really think he's going to get 12 targets? He's only gotten those when Michael Thomas hasn't been in. Jameis never really had a pass-catching running back in Tampa. So we don't know how he's going to behave there. If that offense looked anything like this New Orleans offense, and we could kind of take what we know about him and what we've seen and translate it to this offense, then yeah, that would be easier to make some of these assertions. But I don't know. Michael Thomas, I was surprised at how low owned he was last week. I was surprised at how bad he played. But this is a game at home. Michael Thomas at home is a guy that has historically just crushed. And he's still 7,300. Julio's 7,500. This is a game stack where you can get some of these guys a lot cheaper than you should. And I think you can get away from Kamara. I mean, I probably am.
He's expensive. He has to do a lot to pay off 92. But here's the thing with Thomas. Some people are worried about Breeze, but I mean, Winston's entire game was just throw it up to Mike Evans and hope he catches it. Does that translate in New Orleans and just pepper Michael Thomas with targets?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't just throwing it to Mike Evans. It was Chris Godwin. I mean, he threw those short passes, those slants. So I think that, that the route to success for Winston is not through Kamara. It's going to be through Michael Thomas. And, this New Orleans needs to get him involved. This team was not going anywhere long term in the playoffs without Michael Thomas, running the slants and catching his 3-yard patterns and, making things happen.
I like it. What about Mr. Gurley?
Nah, I'm good.
All right.
Not in this matchup, at least. I mean, the guy scored a ton of touchdowns this year, which has been surprising. He's gotten a fair amount of work, but you can see he's just not done very well yards per attempt or total yards. He does get a lot of those red zone looks, so he's always a threat to score. It's just in this matchup, we are running a team that's just pretty good against the rush. So
yeah, I'm not a big fan.
They are the best. They are the best team against the rush, DVOA. Okay, I was looking at Atlanta. I was like, oh, well, it's a little different.
Look at that. No. Fair enough. All right, how about Cincinnati Bengals heading to Washington, 46.5, with the Washington football team favored by 2. Alex Smith looks pretty good. Not gonna lie. I mean, he looked good and he looked good. Let's put that out there.
So I think it was more of a situation of this, Detroit Lions team just, I don't know. We talked about it in the group chat, and I said, you guys were hating on the Lions. Look at them. They're up now. And then you guys are like, just wait. They're going to blow it. But why does that continually happen? I think it's because they take their foot off the gas. Like, the defense goes into these prevent defenses in like the second and third quarter, and that's not what got them there. What got them there was being a little bit more aggressive and not just giving up 15 targets to J.D. McKissic.
And a really bad defensive penalty with 20 seconds to go to give away the game by Washington is the only reason why they won that game.
Yeah, so, I mean, I think McKissic's interesting. I brought it up last week.
He was awesome.
Did not expect him to have 15 targets.
Or Gibson to also score 2 touchdowns, and playing both of them would have won you some money.
Yeah, well, look, Gibson is kind of like that Melvin Gordon. He's not a full-time running back in this league, at least now and maybe ever. But J.D. McKissic at 5,200, if you're going to get the amount of targets that you're going to get, 15, 14, and I think 8 the day that he played with Alex Smith in against the Rams when Kyle Allen came out. So McKissic at 50, I mean, I can't imagine he's not popular. Early ownership projections had him a lot lower than you would expect, but Alex Smith he's not mobile anymore. So he's just dumping it off a lot. I mean, that's the extension of the running game for them. So I like McKissic, don't really like Gibson, but I like a lot of the pieces on Cincinnati. I think this Washington team is not very good. I think it's starting to fall apart for them. They had a couple moments where it looked good, but they've just not looked good recently. And, regardless, they came back in the Lions. Who cares? The Lions are not a good team either. Joe Mixon's not going to be there, so we're going to see more of a pass-heavy approach. Not super interested in Giovanni Bernard, still a little bit too expensive, but the one guy that I saw that took a huge price drop that I'm really, really kind of eyeing here is Tyler Boyd, 5,600. Like, that doesn't make sense. AJ Green, 3,600. Like, what? Like, both of these guys are way too cheap, in my opinion.
What are your thoughts on taking the flyer on bare bottom Cincinnati Bengals defense in DFS?
Sure, absolutely.
I like it. Smith was never really a mistake maker, but they're just kind of, I don't know. I mean, you can get 6, 7, 8 points out of 2,300 defense. You're happy.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is a game Cincinnati wins. I don't think that they're favored in this one. Actually, I mean, it's pretty much pick 'em.
It's 2 of what I'm looking at, but
I have it as 23.25, 23.2. So, yeah, pick 'em.
Yeah, Cincinnati D gonna be my D boy.
If you can get a team that's scheduled to score or slated to score 23 points, I mean, they're 23 points. This is the same thing as Houston. This is the same thing as Atlanta. This is the same thing as a lot of teams on this on this slate, and you're getting Tyler Boyd at 5,600 and AJ Green at 3,600. I mean, I'm gonna have to look into that. I mean, but that does just it doesn't make sense. So I don't know. I kind of like some of the pieces here. It kind of feels like a trap, but
just throwing it out here. But Gio is averaging the same fantasy points per game as Mixon. Just saying. Okay. Just saying. Just throwing that out. Miami Dolphins heading to Denver, 45 over under. 3-point favorites are the Dolphins on the road. The Dolphins defense has looked legit, man. Absolutely legit. They are making Tua's debut look good. Can they keep it up against possibly Drew Lock-less Denver Broncos?
Probably, yeah. I mean, I'm not really interested in a lot of the Denver pieces, although this is going to be in Denver, so they are going to be playing at altitude, so that does change things. But, you know, where do you go here? Like, I guess Salvin Ahmed was kind of the right play last week, and it made a lot of sense. I'm not sure that kind of really makes sense this week. His price is up. It's a much more difficult matchup. Devontae Parker was just nowhere to be seen. I think we have another really cheap wide receiving option in Jakeem Grant, who saw a good amount of action. He got the touchdown, 4 receptions. Prices up to 3,500 this week. He's just another one of those guys. There's a lot of cheap wide receivers to pick from this week. Does make it easier if you do want to play Alvin Kamara to kind of fit him in your lineup.
I can tell you, you can tell what I did research on today before my children interrupted me today. Kind of liking the Denver defense here. At home, mile high, rookie quarterback, backup running backs. I mean, it's not the worst play.
No, I mean, they've had.
I know exciting analysis talking about NFL defenses on Wednesday night, but
I mean, I guess the problem is you look at what they've given up in the passing game, and then like 2 of the weeks where they were able to shut down the passing game, they gave up a ton of points to the running game. So it's pick your poison with them, and more often it is they're going to give up the points in the passing game. And the heck, against Chargers, they gave it up both ways. So
yeah, it's tough. It's a tough one. Yeah, not very exciting for either sides of this for me, honestly. I mean, yeah, Jakeem Grant maybe. I think the Miami running game got too expensive. Not interested in Tua. So moving on. New York Jets heading to LA Chargers. 47.5 is the over-under. 8.5-point favorites are the Chargers. I mean, this is just another let Justin and Allen hook it up again, right?
Yeah. Well, let's run it back. We didn't have a great week last week. I mean, Mike Williams is another guy that I'm kind of interested in. Just a couple of pieces of this game, but not together. I don't think you game stack it. This is probably not the spot for that. Keenan Allen had 7 targets, was still a lot. I mean, his price is getting up there. Mike Williams had 5. It's tough. I mean, what I really want to do is I want to attack this Chargers team on the other side with running backs. They've been absolutely terrible at doing that, but what am I going to play the Michael Pirine? No. I'm going to play Frank Gore? No. So I have to wait till like next week to do anything like that. So it's kind of disappointing. This game, when we're talking about the Chargers, and we've been talking about the Chargers, that defense has been giving up a ton of points. The offense has been scoring. They've been just a good spot to target fantasy-wise because they're not the team that you look at to do that initially. That's more, games that are involving Arizona, games that are involving Seattle, games that are involving Dallas. But the Chargers kind of just sneak right under the radar and still have 60, 70-point games. This is just not that week.
Kind of one of those weeks to preview for next week. You just hope that the Chargers embarrass the Jets and do it defensively, and so then you can target the running game against them next week with depressed ownership.
I don't think. I think people will give it a pass, and I don't think people have to.
I just try to be cute. Don't mind me. I need a beer break, man. So I'm going to open this mystery can I found I don't really have a cellar anymore, so it was just sitting in the back room when I went to turn the lights off, and I want to know what it is. So let's hope. First of all, let's hope it doesn't explode in my face.
Let's hope it's not an IPA, right?
Yeah. Well, let's find out together. With my don't mess with the Princess Leia glass. You like that? Yeah. Okay. All right. A little darker in color. That gives me hope it's not an IPA.
It's got some good carbonation.
Still fizzing. Whew. Oh my. Raisins, toffee. My friend, I think. Oh, yeah, we got a barley wine, man. And a very, very, very strong one. Whew. Either that or it was a quadruple IPA that I forgot about for a very long time. I'm going to go barley wine. And that is, wow, that burns, man. So that's got to be at least a 12 to 15%er.
Oh, man.
Stick around for the after show. Johnny Danger hasn't been drinking. So this will be fun.
We did have a comment in the chat, but I don't see the Rams on here, so I'm not sure that we can really talk about Jared Goff.
That's true. I just noticed that now. That's funny. That's funny. All right, I lost my place. Where were we? We're talking about the Chargers. How about Green Bay heading to Indianapolis? Now, this game is this is of some note for me in seasonal because I am in the hunt for a championship, and it has been on the shoulders of Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams. But they're now going to go up against the number one pass defense in the league on the road. Do I need to bench these guys and find another way to go?
You might not have a choice. Devontae Adams apparently has an injury, and
Don't talk to me. Don't talk to me like that.
He's not looking like he's going to play from what he said. He wants to. He hopes to. But there was a.
We're going to turn the red light on. That makes me angry.
Yeah, so let's go to Devontae Adams won't guarantee he's playing Sunday against the Colts after his ankle injury Sunday. But he says that's the idea. And then it's really funny because Matthew Berry responded to that with an what? And then people are like, his ankle is bothering him, so he can't guarantee he's playing on Sunday, but he will try. Like trying to just like explain it to him. Oh man, it's good.
Don't break my heart, man. All right, look, if Adams isn't playing, I'm benching Rodgers and playing someone else.
Yeah, look, if Adams isn't playing, I think that elevates Aaron Jones to a point where you can kind of you can be interested in playing him. He's just been a lot better when Devontae Adams has been out. This is a tough matchup that I'm not interested in Aaron Jones. But hey, look, if there's no Devontae Adams, they've got to score a couple points somehow, right? Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not really listening anymore. I'm trying to figure out what the hell do I do if I'm missing both of those guys.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if Jair Alexander is going to be playing, so you can get on the other side of this and get a little Phillip Rivers action.
I was going to say, he is available. Phillip Rivers and Cousins are both available.
Cousins is an interesting one. I mean, that's the guy at 9,000 that I think you play. Not Cousins, but in that game, you've got Dalvin Cook.
I'm not talking about DFS anymore, man. You got to help me with the seasonal team. What do I do? I mean, honestly, for real, I'm not even joking around. If Adams is out against the Colts, do I play someone else besides Rodgers?
Sure.
I mean, I think you kind of have to, right? I mean, the Colts are kind of dominant recently. No Adams. I mean, Rodgers is magic regardless, but it's a tough matchup. I mean, oof. We're gonna have to break down this on the first sip show, I think.
Yeah, I mean we'll have a little more clarity. The only thing that's kind of difficult.
You're giving me a stomach ache here, man. A stomach ache. This is my
game, man. It's a 4 o'clock game. You're not even gonna know at 1 o'clock.
I know this is the worst. This is the worst news ever. But at least well, here's the shining part. Hopefully, the people I'm playing aren't listening. Because both Rivers and Cousins are also 4 o'clock games. So if they stay on the waiver wire, it's fine.
Sure.
Or I just find 2 people to drop, pick them both up.
I don't think anybody's going to be picking up Rivers, so you should be okay.
Right. I mean, the pack's been pretty good against the pass, though.
Yeah, but if Jair Alexander, their top cornerback, probably playing better than anybody else this year, is not playing again, I mean, maybe it elevates it. So
yeah, maybe a little Michael Pittman excellence.
Sure.
I kind of wrote him off, and you looked insulted when I said Michael Pittman will be an afterthought, and then he made me eat my words. I think that was 2 weeks ago. But
yeah, he's had some good games. So good.
Yeah.
I mean, the other guy that's interesting in this game and is not. I mean, as much as I've dogged on him, but I wonder what Lou thinks about him. T.Y. Hilton, 4,200.
Yeah, I mean, he's getting cheap. I mean, what are you going to make of this running back game with the Colts, man? I mean, is this like vintage Belichick where they had like 3 running backs and any one of them would be the feature at any given week and there was no idea to figure out who it was, and Green Bay's terrible against the run and they have 3 perfectly capable running backs? Is this just a total avoid, or if you're building multiple lineups, you're just kind of mixing between like Taylor and Hines?
I think when you've looked at what Hines has done, Hines has been successful in really weird situations that are hard to replicate, but he finds – I mean, look.
I mean, he's put up 20 points 2 of the last 3 games.
Look, against the Lions, he scored 2 touchdowns on passes, but he only had 6 targets and 5 catches.
Mm-hmm.
Or I'm sorry. No. I'm sorry. 5 targets, 3 catches, 2 of which were for touchdowns. I'm sorry, not 6. I mean – That's not really replicatable, and he's not running the ball. Last week he did against Tennessee, and that I just think was an aberration. He's not playing enough snaps to feel confident to go to either of these guys. Jonathan Taylor, same thing, just not playing enough snaps. I mean, all 3 of these guys are splitting work, and I think that once they figure out which one they want to go to, they give them a couple extra snaps, but it's still not enough. So it's
a weird thing. I mean, I was listening to a breakdown on the radio about how the Colts have handled the running game. And Frank Wright has basically said, I play the hot hand. Now, a lot of coaches say that, but it appears to be like totally true. Like they give all 3 guys some carries in some situations in the first series or so, and whichever one looks good basically just gets the ball the rest of the game.
The other guy the other game that we kind of missed, we missed Tennessee and Baltimore.
Yeah, we'll get there.
I thought we were in the last game.
We'll get there.
All right, Mr. Barley Wine.
We'll get there. It's way up there. It's way up there. Anyways, Cowboys heading to the Vikings. 48 points, 7.5, and favored are the Vikings. I mean, I think I could smash that 7.5. I mean, Cowboys are terrible.
Yeah, Andy Dalton's supposed to come back. I don't think that matters a whole lot. I mean, maybe it does from a passing perspective because
makes Gallup a little more interesting.
I don't think Gallup's the guy that I'm interested in at all. I mean, 3,700. They just want you to play some of these wide receivers. Man,
that's what I'm saying. He was in my first build because I was like 3,700 against the Vikings. I mean,
yeah. I mean, I don't know what to say.
I mean, he's a guy that's capable of wide receiver 1 numbers if given the opportunity against one of the worst secondaries in the league at $3,700.
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't know what to say. I really don't. They're all super cheap. I love Dalvin Cook. Maybe this is a game stack. Maybe a little Dalvin Cook, Justin Jefferson, run it back with one of these other guys. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I did that exact same thing, man. I left Kirk Cousins out, and I put Cook and Jefferson in and ran it back with Gallup.
Yeah, and then maybe you just stack Ben with Deontay and don't even run that one back.
We're thinking on the same terms this week, and that's not good for you. So you should change your mind by Sunday.
Well, no, I figured out what it was. I'm pretty sure it's because I've been drinking beer. I had whiskey. I haven't had wine in a while, so this Sunday
there we go.
I'm getting some red wine.
Switch it up. All right, Tennessee Titans heading to Baltimore. 6-point favorites are the Ravens, 48.5. Over under here. Titans defense has really been disappointing, obviously.
You
there
really
was a, I know, they disappointed me. They disappointed me. I had high hopes for them. They disappointed me. What do you think of this game? I mean, Baltimore is not the dominating team that they thought they might be this year. Their skill players have been lackluster outside of Lamar, and Lamar hasn't been Lamar of last year, but that was kind of predictable that he wasn't going to repeat that kind of year. What do you think of this game? Tennessee's defense been kind of crappy. I mean, they've been giving up big chunks. You get back to Hollywood Brown?
I think I'm going Derrick Henry, man.
Yeah, I get behind Henry.
I mean, he's expensive, but I think I'm interested. I think I'm real interested.
See, Joshua says Ravens in the over for him.
I can't fault you on that. I think that's just a lot of points for them to give up against a good team. A lot of the situations that they've had where they've been able to, cover like that. I think they were lucky to cover against the Colts. Not cover, but if this was the line, I think it was like 1 point. I felt like they'd beat the Colts, but there was some just defensive plays. But lost the Steelers, real close against the Eagles. The Bengals aren't a team that should have given them any trouble. I don't know. I think Tennessee comes in. I think Tennessee is physical with them, and I think this is a game where Tennessee wins outright.
Yeah, I like Tennessee in this game as well. I like Chris Davis. Corey Davis. There we go. See, barley wine, man. I haven't had alcohol in weeks. Let me get some more of this. This Joshua guy seems to be a friend of yours, but he put an extra E in your name, so I don't know. I don't know if that's much of a friend.
Oh, yes, I know Josh.
Mm-hmm.
Look, everybody puts an extra E in my name for some reason. It's like 95% of people when they spell my name, and that's a real statistic. Put the extra E in there. So, and I don't know why.
So when we officially ever have, like our own email addresses at places, you're going to have to get both Emric and M. Eric, just because people are going to typo it, and you want them to get the information one way or the other to you.
No, I'm just going to go with Chris. It'll be Chris at whatever that website will be. I don't see it. I just don't see it for Baltimore. I think Baltimore's kind of falling apart. We talked about it a little bit earlier. They've been a little bit found out. This defense has been carrying them. Their offense just isn't really there. Tennessee's easiest way to kind of exploit them is through the air, and they're just not synced up right now. Willie Snead was the winning captain last week. That was kind of weird. But I'm not sold on this Baltimore team. I think this Baltimore team's going to be good again next year, but they've got to make some adjustments. They need some other weapons, and it's just not clicking for them this year. I like Derrick Henry in this matchup. He's exploited him before. I think some people will be away from him. His price is up there. It's a little bit high. I get it. But I don't expect A.J. Brown or Corey Davis or Adam Humphries or Jonnu Smith or any of these guys to be able to exploit this Baltimore defense from the air perspective. Somebody's going to have to do it. It's Derrick Henry. It's getting cold up here in the Northeast, so that's where I'm going.
I can tell you I like Tennessee +6. I think Baltimore can win this game, but I think if Baltimore wins this game, it's on the back of the defense and slowing down the game and grinding the clock. So I think if Baltimore actually wins, it's way more likely to go under that 48.5 than to go over. So I think if it goes over, Tennessee wins.
Yeah, I mean, I can agree with that. I mean, unless this is just like some crazy Lamar Jackson, goes for like 40 points and, he's running all over the place.
Can't ever rule it out, right?
No, I mean, everything's possible. Kevin Garnett told us that. It's just not probable.
Anything's possible. Yeah. Well, we'll get to Monday night another time. How about that? Was a reporter asking the guy who was going to be the number one consensus pick in the draft in the NBA tonight, like his thoughts on the two teams, and he's like, yeah, I don't even watch basketball. If an NFL team wants me, I'll go there instead. What was up with that? Did you hear that?
No. No, I mean, I get most of my news from Twitter, and that was not what was circulating.
Yeah, I saw that on my sports app. It was an article pop up. They were talking to him, and he's like, "I don't even like basketball. I don't even watch it. I'd rather play in the NFL." And he was the number 1 pick tonight. I think that's funny, personally. Okay, I got nothing else, man. That's it. I'm tapped out. Ding ding. Put a fork in it. It's done.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a whole lot.
Love it. All right, man. That was it. I know what we need to do. If you're tired of the show,
we got to talk about Prize Picks.
We got to talk about Prize Picks, man. If you are tired of swinging and missing at the DraftKings Showdown Captain games, and you want to play something a little different, something that we've been doing around here, has been going to PrizePicks.com. Go to PrizePicks.com, put in Blueprint for your promo code when you sign up for a new account, and put your first deposit in. You will get a 100% deposit match up to $100. It's a little bit different over there. So they put up fantasy projections for players kind of based on regular, like, Yahoo or CBS. It's, standard fantasy scoring. They put up projections of the players, and you just pick 2, 3, 4, or I guess there's going to be a new 5 for 5, Emmerich, 5 for 5 game. And you pick whether the guys will go over or under. If you hit them, you win. And also that bonus money, if you sign up with our code and do that bonus money, it is real money. It's right there, ready to go. You can play it all right away. It's kind of fun. So let's talk about that. We have got a killer game. So these are going to be some big numbers here. Kyler Murray, 27.9 fantasy points. They only lose 1 point for interceptions. It's a point per 25 yards, 4 points per passing touchdown, 6 points per rushing touchdown, point per 10 yards. Rushing, standard stuff. 27.9 for Kyler Murray.
I'm on the over.
Yeah, I'm on the over too. Russell Wilson, 25.5.
I'm gonna go on the. That's right where I have him. I'm gonna go on the over as well.
I like the over there too. DeAndre Hopkins, big dude. What an unbelievable buzzer beater catch that was. Unbelievable. I saw the catch, and I didn't see the scramble that Kyler Murray had to put on to throw that ball up first until like yesterday when I was watching SportsCenter. Amazing. Incredible. DeAndre Hopkins, 22. 22. That's a big number.
I'm going to go under.
I mean, he's got to score a touchdown to get that. There's no way he's catching 12 for 100 yards. I mean, I guess he could.
Yeah, I'm going under. I think we get a little more Christian Kirk action, drives his total down.
You think Patrick Peterson shadows?
Well, he's on Arizona. He wouldn't.
I'm talking about DK Metcalf next.
I don't care.
Shatters Metcalf?
I don't care.
I don't care either. 17.4 for Metcalf.
Over. Hard over.
Hard over.
Heavy over.
Is that with or without Lockett? You don't care?
With Lockett, without Lockett, I'm good with it. I mean, a lot of times when we talk about this, my projections are right there within a point, but I've got Metcalf at 19. So, yeah, hard over.
Over. I like it. Christian Kirk, 14.4.
Christian Kirk, 14.4. If we're going to take
I feel low.
On the under, you have to take Kirk on the over.
Yeah, man. I feel like that's low. Yeah, I feel like a good 17 points out of him is a good score. Tyler Lockett, 17.
17. I'm going to take the under on Tyler Lockett.
I think he's a little banged up, and I think even if he's out there playing, he might not get his normal usage. So I'm going to go under with you as well. Kenyon Drake, 11.5.
11.5. I'm going to go over.
It's not a lot. It's not a lot. He could get involved in this game.
Not a lot. It's a little.
Yeah.
I'll take the over.
David Moore. If Lockett doesn't play, David Moore is probably a lock to go over 9. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I think he could go over 9 with Lockett in.
I think you take him with. I think you take it now because they probably adjust that if you wait and you make the pick now. I think at 9 you get the over. I think that's completely doable for him with Lockett in, and if Lockett ends up being out, you've just gotten a huge advantage there.
Smash. Larry Fitz, 8.5.
I'm going to go over.
You think they focus on Hopkins and let the other two have a little extra room?
No, I mean he's flirted with that. I think this is going to be a high scoring game. So the last time they played, he scored 14 points. So yeah.
I mean, they have both kickers projected higher than that. So
okay,
just saying. So both kickers here, 9 for Myers and 9.5 for Gonzalez. It's interesting in these high scoring games because they might not be field goal games.
Yeah, I mean, just remember this was the game where Lockett scored the 56 points when they played before. They put up 60, 71 points. Yeah, I mean, I think they're going to score a lot. Probably a little bit less than that, but yeah, they'll score.
I like it. Over under on Buda Baker getting tackled right before a pick six again.
I'm going to go under.
All right, just checking. All right, that's all I got, guys. Go check it out, prizepicks.com. That is just for the single game football, but on Sunday they have the full slate of people to choose from if you want to get a bigger player pool to choose from. Also, something interesting, Chris, that we forget to talk about every now and then with basketball, going to come back at some point and other sports starting around football. You can mix and match your players between different sports. So we can take a couple of NFL guys on Sunday and a couple of LOL guys at the same time.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we'll have to maybe check that out. Say what?
It makes it interesting.
Yeah, but yeah, they've got they did a thing for the NBA draft where you picked the position of where they got drafted over or under. That was interesting. PGA Golf's on there. You can do just quarterbacks. You can do CS:GO. You can do LOL. You can do tennis. They've got MMA. You name it, it's on there. So go check it out. PrizePicks.com. Make sure you use promo code Blueprint to get a 100% deposit bonus up to your first $100. That's it for us. We are Johnny Danger and Chris Emmerich for Draft for Upside. Find our content also at fantasyfootballblueprint.com. And we will see you Sunday morning, 11 a.m. Eastern for First Sip for our final thoughts on the main slate on DraftKings. Y'all have a good night.